Hello again, my lovely, and welcome back to my channel for another unboxing of the Alexandra Renke subscription box. And if I do sound a little snuffy, I do apologize, but the older tree and the hazel are in full bloom here, and I'm allergic to both, so I apologize, but there's nothing I can do. So I received the box, and as you may be able to spot, I have a double whammy. But I only ordered a couple of items on top of the subscription box, but they sent a whole new box. So here's my first look, and there's a die to make some cute little bunnies, a female and a male version, and the die is called Hasenköpfe bunny heads. And the stamp set looks like it's to go with the die, and it has all kinds of German expressions for Easter, and you can pause the video to read them all, but I'll just give you a quick overview. Pleasant Easter time, sweet Easter greetings, I, which means egg in German, like you, and little heart and some embellishments as well. And the die is called Hasige Ostern, both in German and English. And then we have washi tape. That is a design from last year with the painting Easter bunny, and it's called Bunny's Painter, and it's quite long, 10 meters, so that's nice to have. And there are the ornaments on the front. And then we have a whole spool of Ito Jima 8.5 Maki yarn, which is 100% cotton, and I love this yarn. It's quite thin, but wonderful, and a lovely color as well. So now on to the paper, once I can get it out. Let me remove the box, and first off we have some metallic white pearl paper. I will put the description or the order number in the text below. It's 250 grams, same as this paper, that's metallic paper gold. And now on to the pattern papers, and they are Easter themed, as you may have guessed. And there's the first Easter bunny with lots of carrots and the patched up trousers, and the number is 10, 22, 26. Next up we have a painting bunny with a palette and a brush stuck in his pocket, and some blobs of paint, another bunny that looks like a child, and they're painting eggs, and the paper number is 10, 22, 27. Then we have some lady bunnies, it looks like, or maybe not, balancing on a rope tied to a carrot plant, and another bunny playing the harmonica, and the paper number is 102228. Here's a bunny pointing at a sign pointing to Easter, and what looks like a map, and then lots of bunnies hanging around at the bottom of the sign with carrots. It looks like they're going on to a trip, and the paper number is 102232. And some bunnies on a ladder. It looks like it's supposed to be a house with a flower basket, and the other bunny is taking up carrots. So here the paper number is 102233. And then we have two bunnies sorting out eggs and carrots, tying ribbons around them, and the paper number here is 102234. Now they have finished painting all the eggs, it looks like, almost. And they are spread all over the page. The paper number here is 102235. Next up we have a paper that looks like marble or cracked egg, perhaps, and the paper number here is 102245, and a similar design also with the Alexandra Renke gold, and the paper number here is 102246. And this is a green paper that looks like grass. It's very thick. I'll also put the order number in the text below. And then up next, one of those dotted papers that we had last time. And here the paper number is 10591. And a lovely paper from a former issue. I think it's also older, and the paper number is 101219. So this is it. I must say I'm not overwhelmed with the Easter papers. The last few years they had such cute papers, but this time I'm not too chuffed. But anyway, I'm using the dies to make some cards as samples, and I think this is exactly what I will do for Easter as well, for all my Easter cards, using the lovely dies and stamp set that I received in this box. So here you see me using Distress Oxide inks to color 3 sets, and I will use the die to cut out the bunnies and the bows. And I tried out a few things, but I decided to make the bunny head white and just use the outline in the color that I cut, and the bow of course. So here you see my Sizzix fold away, using the cutting mat, which is a self-healing mat that's been well used, but I find it works best. The washi wouldn't stick on the oxide inks, so I'm trying to get it to stay. And while I was cutting, I had an accident. So this is the second time of me cutting the bunnies and the bows, because I tipped over my glass of water and it went across the whole table. So all of the oxide inks, they were discolored, of course, but it doesn't matter because I used all those little bits I had cut out before as a backing to make layers for the bunnies, so that they become more sturdy. Because the paper I'm using here is a drawing paper. It's not too thick. It's around 200 grams. And what I'm planning to do is to make some easel cards with the bunny heads sticking up, and that, you know, should be resting on a label that is in front. You will see what I mean in a moment. So I used the new Distress Oxide ink from Tim Holtz called Kitsch Flamingo for the female rabbit, and there you saw me using a darker tone to offset the shadow of the bow. And I'm using the stamping tool to stamp the bunnies' faces in Nouveau Hybrid ink in Metro Grey, so it's not quite so stark. And I double stamp them for good coverage. And now cutting out the bunnies. And here you see one example of me gluing the different layers onto the colored one. And I'm using my Nouveau glue, which is my favorite glue of all. So next up, I made a sample of white card, which is actually what I should have used, but I'm using the grass paper that we received in the box, because bunnies and grass go together, don't they? The problem being that this paper does not fold so easily, so as you will see at the end, the easel cards don't really work with this paper, but it doesn't matter, the heads stick up. And here I'm showing you the die cut again, so using my scissors to actually cut out around the edge of the card and gluing the outline of the bunnies to the cutout part of the card. And here I'm doing it differently. I'm gluing it down first and then cutting, and using the tiny little piece of edge that's folded over to glue the bunny head inside to the card as well. It would have been ideal if I had had one solid piece of the outline and the head, but since the dies don't come in separate parts, the Alexandra Renke dies never do actually. I may, if I mass produce, make a cut file to glue behind, because that's safer. It worked out in the end though, and here you see me stamping a sentiment that's called Hasige Ostern, means a bunny Easter kind of thing. And I used a I cut a strip from the grass paper, and since the grass paper is very sturdy, I use that little cutout to make a template for my stamping, so that I could stamp multiple labels at the same time, or one after the other, I should say. And there you saw me gluing the bows to the bunnies, and this is supposed to be how it works. The bunny is supposed to stick behind the label that I also made of 3 layers, but since it doesn't want to stay down, it just floats in the air, which is fine, I think. Overall, I'm really happy with the bunnies, and I thank you so much for staying with me, for watching my unboxing and the making of the cards. And I do hope you were inspired a little bit and could take away a hint or two by my mistakes, perhaps. So thank you for watching, and do take care, do what you love. Bye for now. Ta-da!